Hi guys, so today I'm going to be reviewing the new Diamond Press Windows Slimline dies. It's called your Paw-Some from Diamond Press. They did send these items free of charge for my review, and all opinions are my own. Any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. If you are following Diamond Press, with their newsletter, you can go to mydiamondpress.com. I always have a link in the description box for Diamond Press there. You might have already seen some of the new items that they're coming out with for HSN. Some of the items are available already. I'll have the links to those. And this one just came available today. So I'm really curious to try it out. I love that the package is nice and big. So that means we're going to have a nice slimline die in here that we're going to check out in just a second. And everything else, as it becomes available, I'll update the links. But for now, these are the things that are available. And having said that, I think for this kit we have some little stamps that we need to color in, so I am going to use the new Diamond Press alcohol ink markers. I'll do a review tutorial or more of a review later, but for right now I'm just going to use some of the colors to do some of the coloring, okay? So I'll show them to you in a minute, but it's not going to be an in-depth review quite yet. In-depth review. So yes, very cute packaging on those markers. I've had them for a little while. I've been able to play with them, and they've been great. So let me open this up. Ah, yes, you guys. I had a feeling this was in the works. I kind of knew about it, but was not sure when they were going to come out. You see this long folder in here? Yay! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's open this up. I'm more excited about just that, aren't I? I'm like, yes! Let me open this up completely. I'll tear this away just to get this out. Okay, guys, so, and it's the Paw-Some thing. So paw, like P-A-W, not possum, like the animal. But we have the dies that coordinate back with our little guys. But let me just show you that this is the main slimline die. And let me get some measurements on that for you. I'm trying to see about the cutting edge is normally where I like to try to measure it from. So cutting edge to the other cutting edge, it's 2 3/4 wide. And the length here is about 7 3/4. So really will mat nicely into the size I like to do, which is usually 3.5 by 8.5 is what I like for my slimlines. But whatever size you like, the increments are going to work out just fine because you have the 3/4. Like as long as they're in the quarters, you're good, right? To mat up however you like. So let me put this to the side for just a minute. Look at this. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, let's see how long this is. It's about 10 1/4. A little shy of 10 1/4 in the length, and the width is just the same as your regular marquee folder, which is about 4 1/4. So this is awesome. I mean, look at that. You still have plenty of room. You have any other longer dies that you just have in your stash, this would be great, and that you can use them in your marquee without, doubling up how we do our little trick to get something longer or turning it like I normally do. I usually cut halfway through something, and then the other half I'll turn it around after I've cut through and then cut the rest of it. Just a little way to get around that. But this is really great. And having said that, I got another comment. I mentioned this pretty much in every Diamond Press video because I get this question a lot. Any thin metal die that goes through any thin metal die machine will go through the marquee and vice versa. If you buy Diamond Press kits, they don't have to just be run through the marquee or like the little machine. You can run them through any machine that you have that does thin metal dies, okay? They're all the same. They're just sometimes different colors, different things, but thin metal dies are thin metal dies, and they're universal across any type of brand that does that kind of thing. So, okay, what I want to do is show you these before I get caught up too much on the folder here, because again, these go back to the dies that we just saw. So lots of sentiments in this one. You have your day, will miss you, perfect, hi friend, Paw-Some again there, Paw-Some, life is rough, you make me smile, hello, waving hello, a real treat, and let's paw tea, all right, P-A-W-T-Y. All right, there you go. And then you have our little animals, and there's a few more sentiments down here with you're the best, and then happy to you, it's your, enjoy, birthday, and our little sweeties that we're going to color in a little bit. But again, we have all the dies that go back to every single little character, which is great, and a couple little extra cuties here, and little banners that'll cut out some of the words. So let's look at the info sheet just real quick. And so again, it's just showing the die will cut your aperture for you with the little stitching, which is super cute. And then the faux stitching, I guess. And all the different ways that maybe you want to match up the different words and play with them that way. Super cute. And it's your day and joy, or happy birthday to you. You can do them separately, however you want to do it. And then all our little characters. So I'm going to grab some paper, some ink, and we'll get started, I think, with the characters, and then we'll move into cutting the Slimline. Okay, and of course I hit record, and I'm like, I didn't even choose which ones I want to do or use. Oh, the little kitty. I just like she's just like licking her little paw there, or arm, I guess. It's not really her paw yet. This guy, and we'll just make it with kitties, I guess, since we have both of the kitties. And I'm going to stamp them with a hybrid ink. Again, if you change your mind, decide, oh, you know, I want to watercolor this, then you can use water, or you can use alcohol ink, because it's a hybrid ink. So if I'm going to use the alcohol ink markers, you definitely need to use something that will work with alcohol ink markers, and it usually says so on the packaging or on the case, or however, the description whenever you go to buy inks. And this is just stamping card, so it's a nice thick card that takes alcohol ink really well. So I'm just going to stamp that. And I know sometimes people are like, how are you surprised, you know, because I've had these items in for review. You guys know part of the charm of my channel is that I don't open the packages until we are here together, so I don't know what's in there. I don't know what they look like. And if there's a sneak peek that I saw, like I saw in the newsletter, it's because we all saw it at the same time. So, and maybe I should do it differently, but that's how I like to do it. I know you guys like that, so. All right, let's stamp that. I'm gonna give them a minute to dry. I will grab the colors that I would like to use, and we'll color these guys in. Okay, so I'm not like, you know, the guru at coloring, but I know a little something. So I'm just going to color these guys in. I have some gray picked out and some orange picked out from the marker set. And so, you know, and I'll just quickly talk about these. So what's sweet is that they do have, let me move this to the side over here. Oh, let me cover that. Light, medium, and dark right on the lid. So when you're looking at these and you want a certain color family, these are all warm gray, and I have the light, the medium, and the dark. So it's right on there. You don't have to guess that, you know, which one's which or however. And then I know they had asked what kind of thing would I look for in an alcohol ink marker, and I was like, a brush tip. Like, no, I don't even waste time with that. I was like, the first thing I'm like, a brush tip, and then, you know, if the second tip has to be a nib, in my opinion, let's not do the sketch. Because, like, how often, honestly, do you guys use that sketch side, the one that looks like the big Sharpie marker? Hardly ever, right? So for crafters, we like a brush nib, and we like the little bullet nib, or however you want to call it. So these, and I'm not saying it's because I said that, but, you know, who knows? These have your brush tip. Look at that. And it's a little firmer and a little larger than other brush tips that you might have seen in the past. There's that. And then we have the bullet nib on the other side, you guys. Love it. So it's for your, you know, for detail. I've gotten so used to using these guys because it's hard to come by a brush tip a lot of times because a lot of companies don't do that. So I've been used to this. So now that I'm used to this big guy, or when I started using this guy, I was like, oh, I really need that little fine. So that's why we want the nib, you know, so you can get into a little smaller areas if you're coloring something small. But the brush is just, that's like my favorite. All right. So I will start with the light color. And again, I'm not like, you know, I'm just going to put down color. So I'm going to start with this little guy. Start with the lightest. Put it over his whole little body. If you want to do sections at a time, which is normally what I do, go for it. I do like to leave sometimes a little bit of white space. It just depends on your style, what you like to do. I'm going to go into the medium. Actually, I'm going to go into the dark. Sorry, guys. The darkest. And this is just normally how I do coloring, you know, regardless. So I'm just using the same techniques that I would normally use to color something. So dark, and then let's get our medium. And I just kind of blend in from that there. Wherever I think there should be a shadow, and then we come back with our light again. And kind of blend it all through. And as with anything with alcohol ink, when you use it, it should be enough that it comes through to the other side of the page. Now, this is not to say you should use very thin paper that's going to go to the other side of the page, because that'll start pilling and stuff. You do need a nice, thick paper. I'm just saying you have to put enough color. And some people would even do more than what I just did, like really saturate the back. But, you know, it's up to you. So for me, that's what I like, and that's what I'll do. You know, he has a little pink under his ears, so I'm just going to show a few little things. But, so I'm using just the light pink. I'm not even going to take the dark pink. I just want to add a little color, because when I come in later, I'll probably, you know, just do the gray around his ears, but just add a little pink. And these are very easy things to color in. You have his tongue. Maybe I'll do pink with a medium pink or something just to add a little shading in the tongue there. And then this little guy, I'm just going to do an orange. And I know I'm going to do pretty much everything orange around him, but this middle part. So the way I have something that's white look like, okay, you didn't forget it, you just wanted it to be white, is like this light gray or a very light blue. But with him, I would use like a gray. And I would just go around the very edges just so it looks like, okay, I didn't forget it. I just purposefully did not color that. And then after that, I'll go in with my oranges. Okay, sorry. So I was just checking my colors just to make sure. Okay, so, and then I'll go in with my oranges like I was mentioning. So I would just take that and then color in, you know, however. I'm still going to use this one, but again, the lightest color and then going into the deeper color and then dragging those colors out, blending it back through with the light color. And again, I'll probably leave that little patch white too, so I'll take the gray and just go around that and color them in. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut that down a little smaller so we can get it through our machine. And really quick, just, you know, throw on some color, and that's just how I do it. And so we're gonna take our little guys. We need this guy, and I believe this one. And if you want to make an aperture, go ahead. It looks like we can kind of see right through there and pretty well see the lines of the character. And so what I like to do is just do that. And then tape it down and run it through. So I'll be right back once I have this lined up to my satisfaction, and then I'll tape it down really well. Same thing for this guy, and run them through together, and then we'll start our Slimline card base. Okay, I have my little guys here. Aw, so cute. And like I said, you can pretty much see right through, and that's pretty good little border without making an aperture. What I mean by aperture is you can run it through a scrap just like this, and you pop out that center, you know. And then you would use this to kind of line up on your actual project, and you'll see exactly where you're gonna cut, and then you lay this back down, tape it, and run it through, and then you have a perfect cut every time if you want to make yourself a little aperture. So I went ahead and pulled all the different things I want for my card base, and I was kind of going off the colors I used here and what ended up doing with my little guys, and it ended up, I think it's gonna be a little masculine when we put this together. So this is my card base, just a white, you know, cardstock cut at 7 inches, so it's 8.5. Right, the same width as any standard A2 size cardstock, but it is cut at 7 inches on the other side there. And I like to score them at 3.5. That way we have our 7 inches there. Cut or scored right in half, so that's 3.5. And then I just kind of made different sizes of mats, just what I thought what I would like to do. So knowing that the Slimline die is going to cut something that's about 2 3/4 by 7 3/4 roughly. I cut a couple different mats. So this is what I'm going to use to cut the actual Slimline with. So let me pop this out. And we're going to run that through in just a minute. But on top of my card, I'm just going to adhere these pieces here. This dark blue cardstock. And this one is cut at 3 1/4 by 8 1/4. So it's going to mat right on there. Let me back out just a little bit. I forget we're doing Slimline. They're a little, take up a little more room. And then this is 3 by 8. It's going to mat over that. And then we're going to have our little piece that we cut out. But I also want to stamp right on this. If you're going to shaker it, you can do whatever you like. But I am going to stamp right on this. So I want the background, what shows through the little portals, to be white for this part. And you know, it doesn't have to be for all of them. If you just want it for the one, that's fine. You can leave the orange sticking out or however you want to do it. But I am going to then put this. But as you can see, this will cut that little aperture. If you wanted that in white paper, then just run that through and you're going to have a perfect piece of white paper you can piece back in. I'll talk about that in a minute. I don't want to confuse people. So here we have this ready to go. And I'm just going to cut this out in brown craft cardstock, basically. And we have our new folder. Yes. So again, and so here we do have room to angle. A lot of times when you have something like this and it's going to come across the rollers and hit that bump, it cuts nicer if you can angle it. So I'm just going to angle it a little bit, and that'll work out just fine. Let's get that going. Oh my gosh, so cute. All right. There we go, and everything just fell right out. So this is what I was saying. I'm gonna go like this and put this here. If you want everything to be white in the background, great. If you don't, you know, you can pop in, let's say I run this through a different color, you can pop that color back in there. You don't have to have another matte. So I basically cut this the same size as this, which is 2 3/4 by like 7 3/4. So let me adhere these. I will be right back. I have my pieces here, and as I look at it, you know, I'm gonna put this on here. It needs a little something in the background since I went with white paper. So I think what I'm gonna do is mess with that a little bit. But let's get our little pieces, our little guys. And you know, well, that's the other thing. Do you want it this way? I was just looking at it long ways like this. You know what? Maybe we'll go this way because that'll solve my problem. I was like, well, if I do it this way and I distress and ink around, then I'll have to distress and ink around this little area. Instead, we'll do it this way and everything's going to be distressed around the top more than anything else. So very good. Okay, that's what I'll do. And I was looking at the sentiments and I just realized, I think, did I say I miss you on this one? It says, I rough you. Okay, rough, R-U-F-F. So I think I said I'll miss you because we'll miss you and you know me. All right, and I think we're going to use your, that way we can use the little banner die. And then, perfect, right? Because we have our little kitty cats. Okay, so I'm going to put these to the side. I think I'm going to grab some blue ink. Just bring that blue back in, and I'll be right back. A couple different blues. I have Midnight here, a deeper blue, and then I have this kind of a little bit lighter ocean blue. And I'm just going to dip in, and basically I want to put the color at the very top around the edges, but kind of dwindling down when it gets to around the bottom here. So I'm just going to start with this. And again, we are going to stamp in here, and then I'm going to have that little banner. So just kind of, just a little something down there, a little darker at the top. And then we know that we can bring it in just a little bit more because this is going to take up some of it, right around the edges. Just a little something. Okay, I'll clean up and I'll be right back. This is what we have, something like this. And again, if you want to shaker this, it'd be very easily shakerable, in my opinion. But let's go ahead and glue our pieces down. I'll just glue this down, and then I'll glue the other guy right on top. And then you can think about it how you want to use your little characters. You want them tucked in behind the frame a little bit, or right on the frame, you know, however it is that you want to use them. Would be adorable. And again, paying attention to that, I wanted that more blue on the very top. So like I was saying, so if you're going to glue this down, or when you glue it down, do you want your little guys kind of behind there still, or just brought up in front of them? You know, you can do whatever you think it is that you want to do for these guys and do that. So let me think about it for a minute, and then where I want to do my stamping, and I'll be right back. These are so cute. I was just looking at it because you can like pop them in the corner and they won't stick out so much that you can't do that with them, you know? And then this little guy, or however you want, put a couple of them together. I mean, there's lots of stuff we can do here, but I think I'm just gonna maybe put him in the corner just because that's cute and playful. And this little guy can be here. So I'm gonna do that. And I'm going to just kind of think about where I had them before I glue it down very well. Just making sure. Kind of where I put him, a little bit more this way. Okay, and then this little guy here. And then I'm going to stamp. So if you don't want to stamp, again, you can bring in your own little square of paper. So you have a little more confidence if you want to stamp right onto your project, which is what I'm going to do. But let's see. I don't say that looks backwards. And let me see where this is going to be. We're going to bring this guy down a little bit. All right. And I'm just going to put glue all along this and put it down. I do like making shakers out of things like this, especially because you can separate each section with a little foam, and then each section has different color of glitter or confetti or whatever it is that you want to put in there. Super cute. Okay, I'm going to let this dry for a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm just going to take my Midnight color here and stamp the perfect part. And then, again, I'm eyeballing this. You want to use a precision tool or a stamping tool, go ahead. And I've learned in the past to get rid of the ink that's all over the thing so it doesn't get all over your card, just in case. And I'm just going to stamp just a little bit more without getting too crazy. Oh, look at that. And I'm just going to put it right here. Perfect. Now, again, if you stamped it and you didn't like it, guess what? Get one of your little pieces, cut it out, you know, and put it back right on there, another white piece or something or whatever it is that you want to do. But I stamped right on there, so it worked out. Let's see. So we have perfect, and then I need the your. And I think I'm going to stamp it with orange ink on orange paper just to bring that orange forward a little bit. And let's put that away before we misplace it. So a really deep orange on that lighter orange paper. You know what I'm looking at? That's too light, I think. What I'm going to do is probably go back to the blue. I mean, you can see it, but it doesn't strain the eyes a little bit. Let's just use the blue. So we have that. Okay. And then I'm going to cut it out with the little banner die. Again, you can make an aperture, look right through it however it is you want. I'm going to use the rounded one because it's a little bit rounded. And we're going to cut out our little word here, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I did that. I cut it out and I put a little dimension on the back there. And we'll put this right on here. I'm just, again, eyeballing that. Cut out perfectly, and I, you know, just look through it and you cut really easily. So there it is. Thank you so much, Diamond Press, for sending these items for my review. Again, I'll have the links for whatever's available as of today. It depends on when you're watching. And thank you guys so much. Keep an eye out for the next few reviews. I do have a super cute die set that makes like little, it reminds me of like the little viewers that we used to look through when we were kids, those little, well, I don't even think they were 3D. You just look through them and then you turn the little disc and you would see the different images, but it has messages. Super cute, and it has an auto ship attached to it. Not quite available yet. I guess it depends on when you're watching, but again, whatever is available, I have the links there for you guys. Some stamp sets and of course the markers, and yeah guys, I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.